Hello and welcome to yesterday's airlines. It's time for an unboxing video, and in this unboxing video, as you can see, we're going to be unboxing 5 Boeing 727s, and they're all German. I've been acquiring quite a lot of 72s recently. They really fit within my collection criteria, and these 5 are really beauties. So we'll get onto those in a second. Before we do that, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate everyone who has done so, and chuck a like on the video. We're rapidly approaching 3,000 subscribers, and I want to thank everyone who watches. Also, don't forget to check out my sponsor for this video, Northeast Diecast, a site which is full of great classic and some modern second-hand airliners in 200 and 400 scale. Some really good models there to get hold of, and when you do check them out, don't forget to use the 15% off discount code yesterday's airlines 15 for 15% off your order at Northeast Diecast. That's yesterday's airlines 15 for 15% off your order at Northeast Diecast. Now, Germany's not a massive focus area for me, but I do have a reasonably sized area for Lufthansa, as you can see here, with a couple of slots I've managed to eke out for these upcoming 727s. I've also got a Condor area as well, with a little bit of space for some 727s. Let's not waste any time getting to the unboxing of these. As I said, I've got 5 German 727s to unbox in this video, and they all come in this rather attractive Euroclassics standard box. And you can see the first model up here is a Lufthansa version, and what we'll do is we'll unbox each of these models, I think, and then I can talk about them a little bit more separately afterwards. But first up, we've got a Lufthansa 727-200 wearing this very sleek silver scheme. Model number 2 is also got a rather amazing silver natural metal scheme, but this one's not Lufthansa, this one is Condor. So these two very much sister ships, and we'll discuss a bit this scheme later on in the video, but they look beautiful together already there. Model number 3 is another Condor, but this one is in the colours prior to the silver, the cheat line scheme, which has a really classic look to it and actually is equally sleek. I think a lot of these old classic schemes just look so nice, and this one also has quite a lot of natural metal on it as well, so it goes really nicely with the other pair. Model number 4 keeps this theme going but is a little bit newer. It is also Lufthansa, but this one is in the white all over livery, so quite a different look to the 3 previous 727s, which had a lot of natural metal on them. This one's got none. And the last model for this video, number 5, is the odd one out in a way, but still a German 727. This one is in the colours of the charter airline Hapag-Lloyd. Again, a quintessentially German scheme from that period during the 1980s and 90s. So there we have it, 5 Series 200 727s, all of them made by Euroclassics using the Euroclassics brand. What we're going to do now is we're going to get a much closer look at each of these, and I'll talk a little bit about the history of the airframes and the liveries, so you can get all that information coming up next. So we'll start with D-ABCI, a 727-200 delivered to Lufthansa in 1971 and named Karlsruhe. It flew in the cheat line scheme, but in about 1982 it wore this experimental bare metal livery, an experiment to see if Lufthansa could save money. It wasn't taken up by Lufthansa and reverted back to the cheat line scheme around 1984. It later flew in the early 90s with Pan Am, and then moved quite quickly on to Air Alpha, and then Sultan Air and Bosphorus Airlines, all in Turkey, and was withdrawn around 1996. The silver counterpart to the Lufthansa is Condor D-ABVI. This aircraft was delivered also to Lufthansa in 971 as ABFI, but by the late 70s had moved to Condor, who tried something very similar with their livery in the mid 80s, but did a little bit more, had a few more aircraft in this silver scheme. But it didn't last, and by 95, 86, most of the aircraft were back in a grey version of this. The aircraft was sold in 1989 and moved to Olympic in early 90 as SXCBI, but was damaged beyond repair in a runway overrun in December 1997. These two models are really beautiful and just shine wonderfully, but they really do represent an experiment by Lufthansa and Condor, although the Condor experiment lasted a bit longer, and not a particularly standard pair of schemes. That's very much not the case with D-ABKL. This aircraft was delivered new to Condor in December 1975 and is shown here wearing the classic 70s Condor cheat line scheme, which looks really very nice with the natural metal belly. This aircraft also went around the houses a little bit in the 90s. It flew with Noble Air and TUR in Turkey, but by 94 it had become ZS NOV with Safair of South Africa, who then gave it to Comair, and it operated in British Airways colours for several years before ending its career with the Comair offshoot Kalula in 2002. The fourth 727 in this video is a little bit more unusual than I at first thought it was. This one is D-ABKT. It was delivered as late as 1979 and became the only 727 in the Lufthansa fleet to wear the late 80s, early 90s all-white colours, and in fact operated the last Lufthansa 727 service flying LH9680 from Frankfurt to Hamburg on October 4th, 1992. So actually quite an unusual and special aircraft. After leaving Lufthansa, it flew with Air Terex as OKJBY and eventually ended up also at Comair in South Africa as ZS OBO, where it flew with the Benihome Tartan wheel-tail British Airways schemes before passing once again to Kalula, their low-cost offshoot, in the early 2000s. It seems like it was still flying in Feb 2003, but not much after that. The last 727 in this video is the odd one out, as this is a Series 2K5 as opposed to a Series 230, because it was delivered new to Hapag-Lloyd of Germany as DAH Lima Tango in 1979. It saw quite a few different leases to airlines throughout the 80s, including Capital, Tunisair, Ethiopian. By 94 it was flying with Sam Columbia, and then it was back into Europe, then it was to Africa, and then to France. It got around quite a lot, ending its days with Allegro in Mexico towards 1999. It's apparently in use nowadays as a restaurant in Costa Rica, or at least it was in 2019, the last time I can find any record of it. So this one's had quite a varied career. Of course, Hapag-Lloyd was a major German charter airline, still is, I guess, as part of TUI, and they also operated Series 100s. I couldn't resist getting out my Euroclassics 727-100, which goes very nicely here with the 200 in the orange livery of Hapag-Lloyd. Okay, so that's a whistle-stop tour of these 5 new German 727s that have just been added to my collection. They're all really nice models. Slightly different way of doing the video, looking a bit more at the history of each of the aircraft. So chuck a comment on it if you enjoy that. I will be doing a few more of these unboxings over the next few weeks probably, as I've been getting quite a wide range of second-hand models coming into my collection recently, and some really nice ones. So keep an eye out for those, but as always we've got plenty of other videos coming up as well on the channel. Hope you've enjoyed this quick look at these 5 lovely 727s, but until next time, it's goodbye from yesterday's airlines. Goodbye.